Good morning to all. Today we are going to see the topic on ER model. So ER model is the entity relationship model. So it comes under the subject called as the DBMS, database management systems. So before moving into the entity relationship model, before we need to know what is meant by data and database management systems. Data is also called as the datum. So data means it is a single piece of information. So data is also called as the datum. It is a single piece of information. For example, so I want to know the detail of the student. If I'm asking the question to the student, what is your name, what is your roll number, register. Likewise, if I'm asking the detail or any one of the question to the student is called as the data. Okay, so it like many of the informations will be available, thousands and hundreds of millions of data will be available. So we need to store all the thousands and millions of data in one place. So that is called as the database. Okay, so the collections of data will be available in the database. It should be stored in the form of the tables. So table mean it would contain the rows and columns. So all the information, so all the data will be stored inside the database in the form of the rows and columns. So and this table will have some of the name. So table name, so based on the table name only we are going to store all the details inside the database. So how that information will be going to store and retrieve from the database means it having some of the softwares. So that is called as the database management system softwares are available. So Oracle, Oracle software, and it would contain PLSQL procedures and all inside that Oracle SQL. So through this softwares only we are going to store the data, retrieve the data, and we are going to updation, deletion, insertions. All the information will be going to perform through this Oracle softwares. Many of the softwares are available, but mainly we are going to use the Oracle software. So through the SQL language, structured query language only, we are going to store the data, updation, deletion, insertions, and all going to be done by using that SQL procedures. So in that DBMS specifically, we are going to see the entity relationship model that is also called as the ER model. So for what purpose we are using the ER model means, so ER model is used to depict the interrelationship between the two tables. So not only the single table is going to be stored in the inside the database, but multiple tables will be inside the database. If I want to combine one or more two tables means how the result will be going to project, that will be represented by using the TR model. So how the data is mm, going to be represented by combining the two tables, that relationship will be depicted by using the CR model. So see this diagram, there will be a person table and the city table. I'm going to combine these two table by you combine that two table, and from that I'm going to depict one of the result. So likewise we need to represent the diagrammatic symbol by some of the representation, by some of the graphical notations. Okay, and this ER model would contains three things. So based upon these three things only, we are going to depict depict the diagrams by using the entities, relationship, and the attributes. So entity means it will be called as the thing or object, or we can say it as a noun phase. So I said. The data will be going to be stored inside the database in the form of the rows and columns only, no, that rows and columns would contains the name, that is called as the table name. Okay, so for example, if I want to store the student name, register number, phone number, address in one table means that one table would contain the name, no, name. I'm storing these attributes in the form of the student information. So student information would contains the name, phone number, register number, and address. Okay, so that student information is called as the table name, that is called as the entity. And next one is the attribute. Attribute means inside that student information is the table name. Inside that I'm having that data, no, name, register number, phone number, and the address. So these are called as the attributes, or otherwise we can call that is a field or columns. So these are called as the attributes. And next thing is the relationship. Relationship means, so I'm having the student information in one table, and the student roll number and the 5 subject mark and CGPA in another table. I want to extract the 5 student CGPA means, so 5 student mark CGPA and the phone number means I need to combine the student information table and the mark table. So by using how we are going to combine, that representation will be notated in the diamond symbol. So that is called as the relationship. Combining the two tables, no, that should be called as the relationship. So how the symbols will be represented means, entity would contain the rectangle symbol, and the key attributes will be represented in the semicircle. So here they have represented the key attribute. No, key means is nothing but it would be called as the primary key, foreign key attribute, unique key. So likewise, many of the keys are available, but particularly here we need to know what is meant by primary key and the foreign key. So primary key means, so in the table, if we by using any one of the column, we particularly identifying the student means, that is called as the primary key attribute. So we are having the student register number, phone number, address, um, and something, no. So phone number, address, likewise we are having means, among that, so we need to select one of the particular column for identifying as a primary key. Primary key means it would contains the uniqueness. Okay, so we can set the register number, so all the student will have only one register number, so we can set that as a primary key. And also phone number is also one of the primary key. Okay, so likewise we need to identify which one is the primary key. So if we have identified the primary key means, that should be so underlined with the underlined inside the semicircle. See here, so they have represented the attribute inside the semicircle, but in the primary key format. And next one is the relationship. So relationship should be represented in the form of the diamond symbol. I want to combine the two tables means, so it should be represented in the diamond symbol. And next one is the weak entity set. Weak entity set means, so in a table, in a relation, if I cannot know the uniqueness of the column means, that we can set as a weak entity. For example, by using any one of the column, I cannot able to identify the uniqueness of the student means, we can combine the two column, and we can identify the students records. Okay, students entity we can identify. So if we cannot able to identify the primary key uniqueness of the table means, we can combine the two attributes. So that is called as the weak entity set. That weak entity set should be represented in the so rectangle symbol in with double rectangle symbol. That is called as the weak entity set. And next one is the derived attribute. So derived attribute, here we can say that, so if I know the student age means, from that I can identify the date of birth, or otherwise if I know the student date of birth means, from that I can identify the age of the student. So that is called as the derived attribute. Or otherwise we can say, so if we know the 5 subject mark means, we can easily identify the CGP of the student. So that is called as the derived from these attributes I am accomplishing some of the result mean, that is called as the derived attribute. And next one is the multi-valued attribute. So multi-value attribute means, for example, if the person having a mobile number, for one particular person, the student would contain one or more uh, phone numbers. So that is called as the multi-valued attribute. So for a particular student, they are having more than one value for that attribute means, that is called as the multi-valued attribute. So that should be represented in the double semicircle. And next one is the, so by using that symbols only, these of the symbols only, so we are going to draw this ER diagram. After that, we also know the cardinality functions. So cardinality is one to one, one to many, many to one, and many to many relationship. Likewise, the cardinalities were there. So if I'm representing the straight line, means that is the one to one entity. So in the straight line, if I'm marking the symbol, see the second diagram. If I'm marking the symbol like this, means arrow mark, three arrow marks, means that is the one to many relationship. So third one is the many to one relationship. So likewise we need to mark the symbols, or otherwise see here company, employee, semicolon n, and the projects are there here. So in a company more than one employees will be available. So one company is there, inside that company many of the employees will be available. So they have marked that as one to n relationship. Employee means many more employees will be work under that one company. So n employee will be available under that one company. So only they have here mentioned that one colon n. And next, see this diagram. So here there are two tables. One is the customer table and another one is the account table. In the customer table, they are having the attribute as attributes are mentioned in the semicircle. So customer ID, customer name, customer street, customer city. Okay. In the account table, it would contain two attributes. One is the account number and the balance. I'm going to combine these two tables. So that it has been represented by the diamond symbol, and we want to make the layout for that, that is the deposit. So likewise only we need to draw the ER diagram. Okay, so see this. Here they have made the line. So in the customer they're having the four attributes. Inside the four attribute they have find the primary key. So customer id means all the customers will have a different id only. They does not contain the same id and all. So customer id is the primary key, and here the loan number is in the second table, loan number is the primary key. So likewise they have marked the ER diagram. Okay, so this is the tutorial for drawing this ER diagram. Thank you.